Hello. Okay, so tonight we saw the return of the Whispers, the introduction of Aaron's dark side back at Alexandria. Judith had a heartbreaking encounter with a bully. And then at the Commonwealth, Eugene has this ice cream date with Stephanie, and he tried to radio home, but that didn't go so well because then he got caught and then arrested. So can the group trust Hornsby now that they're in hot water? And how will Lydia be affected by what Aaron did to that Whisperer? And why would that bully kid destroy the handprints? You got to be nice to Judith. She's already lost enough already. So on tonight's show, we have interviews with the cast, including ones with the Walker cameo from Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Hillary Burton Morgan's son, Gus, a behind-the-scenes look at the elaborate Commonwealth set, and a sneak peek of next week's all-new episode. My guest tonight, one of the hosts for the Walking Dead Universe Twitch channel, Clarke Wolfe, is here. Cassady McClincy, who plays Lydia, and joining us live from Atlanta, Ross Marquand, a.k.a. Aaron. I am Chris Hardwick, and this is Talking Dead Live. Welcome to the show. The conversation about tonight's show is just beginning. We want to hear from you. So tweet us or hit us up on Instagram at AMC Talking Dead, or go to Talking Dead's Facebook page. You can also go to twdu.com/deadlive to vote on our polls and make your voice heard. For now, please say hello to my guests, Clarke Wolfe, Cassady McClincy, Ross Marquand. All right. Let's talk a little bit about evil Aaron for a second, or Scarin, as I've been calling him. Glaggy Baby on Twitter says, Aaron went dark. Hello. Laura Bonjoven 9 says, Aaron's going full Rick. And Grimes Green on Twitter said, you know it's bad when even Carol says you are going too far. So, are you enjoying playing a more darkly themed Aaron? Aaron's in dark mode?
I've been trying to push for a darker Aaron for years. I mean, I think he's always been this super nice guy since the beginning, and I think his diplomacy's kind of reached its limit, especially with the Whisperers who don't know diplomacy at all. And I think you have to fight fire with some people. And I loved this torture sequence. I thought it was fantastic.
And also, I would imagine being a parent also changes the game a lot as well, because he even says, like, it's because of them that Gracie's starving. You know, it's like they did this, and so that also probably activated him too. But letting the walker bite the guy's hand, what was that? Do you have a reaction to that? You good with that?
I loved it. I know Cassady played it so great, where she really freaked out whenever we shot that. And I thought it was fantastic because, I mean, it was a very brutal moment, and it's something we don't expect from Aaron at all. But you know, like you said, the whole reason why Gracie and the Alexandria community is starving is because of what these guys did just in season 10. So I think he's very desperate, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to protect his daughter and the rest of the community.
Yeah, and also when the guy's like holding the wound and going, it's still not what Alpha would have done. You know what I mean? Like they still, and it's literally, they came from like a much worse fate. So even as dark as Aaron was, it's still not anything compared to what they came from. But now let's find out what you thought at home. We asked you at twdu.com/deadlive. Did Aaron go too far interrogating the Whisperer? Yes. As someone who's lost his hand, Aaron should have spared the Whisperer that same fate. Or no, it needed to be done to ensure Alexandria's safety. While the votes are calculated. And Clarke Wolfe, what do you think? What do you think on behalf of the fan community?
So I was shocked that Aaron, let the walker bite the Whisperer. However, I loved it because, as Ross just said, like, he's lost his hand. He can relate. Like, he's like, you want to play ball? Let's play ball. You want to go there? Let's go there. But that said, we have to remember that Aaron has more connection to Alexandria, arguably, than like anybody else in our crew. He's our way in. Yeah. So the stakes are so high for him. And this isn't the windbreaker wearing khaki pants Aaron that we saw in the beginning, but I think that that's appropriate, especially overseeing all of the carnage that we just did at Hilltop, being reminded of the people that they've lost, the tools that they've lost, the community that they've lost. I think that it makes perfect sense that this is where Aaron is at. So I was surprised that he took it there, but I felt like it was the right move.
Well, you were in the 62% that said, no, he did not go too far. And just really quickly, reaction to Carol stepping in and being like, hey, take it down a notch.
You know what? I love that comment you read earlier about, like, when Carol said you better take it, that's when you know. But that said, like, I think that Aaron, while he is feeling his feelings, is not a reactionary or like off the handle kind of guy. So when Carol stepped in and was like, I see you, this needs to stop, even though he didn't like it, I think he was like, you're right.
Right. Cassady, how does Lydia feel when Carol intervenes in Aaron's interrogation?
So I think that Lydia and Carol have very similar moral codes. And I think that they both know that Aaron's just going through a really rough time right now.
Right.
And the Whispers have done some really horrible things to him. So he's got a lot of vendettas and he wants revenge. But they know that he's a good person deep down, and he's probably gonna have nightmares if he does something worse than let this walker eat this dude's hand. So I think, yeah, they need to step up and like stop it from getting any worse before he's just mortified and
totally lost,
guilt-ridden forever.
Well, yeah, because it's like one of the big struggles on the show is how do you retain your humanity? Like when the world is such a turbulent place, both with walkers and other people and the environment, like how do you stay, how do you stay human?
A good person.
Yeah, how do you not become one of the Walking Dead? Yeah, exactly. But it's sort of on the Carol topic, can you talk about the scene where Lydia saves Carol last season?
Yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes that I've ever done, ever. I love doing any scenes with Melissa because she's just the greatest. And she still cares so much about her character, and she cares about being real. And I just love feeling with her. Every emotional scene I get to do with her, I'm just like, is this even real? Because I also grew up a fan of the show, and like she's really a huge inspiration for me. She's just been so good since day one. And yeah, I was really excited to be able to hug her a million times during the countless takes that we did of that scene. Because yeah, we did that first scene in Atlanta, and then a couple months later we had to reshoot it in LA. So it was just a lot of different takes in different settings filming that. But yeah, it was one of my favorites.
It's so interesting to hear you say those words like, I grew up watching the show. I'm like, oh my God, we've been on for like 100 years.
Yeah.
I've been hosting shows since the 1900s. I feel like 1,000 years old. Coming up, we have interviews with the cast, a behind-the-scenes look at the Commonwealth set, and an exclusive sneak peek of next week's episode of The Walking Dead. But first, before Jerry forgets to flush and wash his hands, he's got a little distracted, so we're going to let it slide this time. Let's slow things down and say a final farewell to all those we've lost tonight.
I would say, well, all of the things that Benson said probably hurt Judith, but the things that probably hurt her most when he started talking about her mom, that's definitely what pushed her over the edge. It's a very sensitive subject. She's very close with her mom, and now she's gone, and she doesn't have much family left, so I think family is definitely a sensitive subject when it comes to Judith. When Judith found the handprints that she made with Carl on the floor, definitely made her have a wave of emotion. Carl was her big brother, and he was her role model, and he's gone now, and that's definitely very tough for her. She's losing family members one after another, whether they pass away or they leave to go do something important. When we did that scene on the steps and Rosita was kind of telling Judith about her mom and her family, I think that definitely comforted Judith so that she knew she wasn't alone in what she was feeling. And I love how she treats her like an adult.
Welcome back to Talking Dead. That was Kaylee Fleming on Judith's confrontation with the bullies and how she cherishes the memories of her family. We're back with Clarke Wolfe, Cassady McClincy, and Ross Marquand. Just some Judith reactions. Ash Hyra on Twitter says, in all caps, "Not the handprints!" M. Joel Neers on Twitter says, "That conversation with Rosita and Judith has me sobbing." Miller's Ree, "I've never hated anyone as much as I hate those kids who were mean to Judith. That is Michonne and Rick Grimes' daughter." And Impossible Girl 11 on Twitter says, "Judith acted just like her dad because she definitely had a Shane moment." Oh, come on. Ross, now that Aaron has gone to the dark side, how worried should that bully be?
I think Aaron's going to give him the what for. He's going to give him a stern talking to. I'm amazed that kid had the gall to talk to Judith that way. I mean, Judith is one of the best fighters we have, and she can take care of herself. So, I mean, that's just playing with fire, I think,
Clarke, how did you feel in that? Obviously, you kind of wanted to see her just knock the kid down, but she restrained herself.
Listen, Judith, okay, so first of all, that was like a teenager pushing a small child onto...
Exactly.
What is happening? What is going on in this place? I did not care for this moment. However, I was actually very proud of Judith. Judith Grimes is probably my favorite character, one of my favorite characters on the show. I think Kaylee is outstanding. And if I may embarrass Cassady a little bit. Both Judith and Lydia are such powerful characters, and if I was a little girl watching this show, I would feel so many things and I would feel so grateful. And so in this moment, Judith is so wise beyond her years, and she tried to use diplomacy, and it didn't work. So she had to give him what for, and I think she did the right thing.
Me too.
It was like I'm just watching that kid, and I'm trying to imagine being in that universe. Like, that kid's already being an asshat. They gotta just let him wander around outside for a while. Like, you can come back in if you stop being a dick. Then it's gonna be okay.
And then he went and broke those handprints. So guess what? He gotta go.
Yeah.
He's out.
Let's go to the internet. Grace30758 on Instagram. Cassady, how would Lydia have reacted to Gage's death in the subway, considering their history?
Yes, I think that Lydia would have reacted just the way Maggie did. I think he did that whole group dirty. He took all their supplies and was just gonna leave them for dead. I would not have saved him, and I think Lydia would not have either.
I don't think there's anything. I mean, that's a very honest, fair answer, and I totally agree. I think her character probably would have done the same thing.
But I love Jackson. He did amazing, and that was a really, really cool death scene. One of the coolest on the show, I think. So.
This is from at the Mama Stones on Instagram. Ross, does Aaron ever wish he had just kept on walking instead of strolling up to Maggie and Sasha?
I mean, you could certainly make the case that the moment Aaron brought back Rick and the gang, that's where everything started falling apart in Alexandria. I mean, we had a thriving community of several hundred people, and then now it's literally only 3 people left from that original cast. It's me, Barbara, and Scott. And, that's a kind of philosophical discussion for another day, but you could certainly make the case that the bad stuff started happening when they came there, but they also protected them against the wolves and the whisperers and the saviors. So it's good and bad.
All right, that's a nice answer. That's a fine. I like that you tried to balance it out. I mean, there's only 3 of us, but it's good and bad. It's a little of both. Clarke, let's talk about Yumiko and her brother, the reunion.
Yes.
Where he's like, I'm happy for the first time in my life. Please don't mess this up for me. And she's kind of big sistering him a little bit. Well,
so we get so quickly into their dynamic like that, which I think is just a testament not only to this great writing by LaToya Morgan, but these performances. I love Yumiko. I love her. I love her in the Commonwealth. I love when she has to speak to the manager. I am here for it. And but this is the type of philosophical discussion that I think you can have in the apocalypse. Like, hey, I don't want that life.
Right.
You know, I've been given a second chance, and if I choose to be happy and work in a bakery as opposed to what I was doing before, you have to let me do that. And I love that this far into the show, we're still asking those questions and having those conversations, because that's the human part that I think we can all relate to.
Totally. And how could you know, I'll just call them our characters. How could our characters trust anything or anyone? Every group that they've pretty much ever come across has turned out to have not great motives, at least, you know, from their point of view. So you come into this society, you know, where there's all these soldiers and there's weird rules, and it's like, of course they're going to be like, is everything on the level
I'm
here?
having Terminus flashbacks.
Of
You know what I
course.
mean? Like, how could you not, as a viewer? Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's, as the kids say, it's sus. And so.
Hey, I want to thank you for bringing some of that hip kid talk to
You're
our
welcome.
program.
That's what you bring me here for.
I'm 100 years old. I literally have no idea. I'm glad I would have had no idea what that word was that you said.
Join us on Twitch. We use it all the time.
I would have been like, yep, it sure is. Well, I guess let's go to commercial, because I got to go look that up.
Can I start flossing right now? Can I do the floss?
Yeah,
We were just doing that on the break.
we were just doing it just before.
We made a Hawaiian floss dance.
We did.
All right, well, coming up, we have more interviews from the cast and go to behind-the-scenes look at the elaborate Commonwealth set, and later, an exclusive sneak peek of next week's episode of The Walking Dead. But first, are you ready to go inside the dead? Well, here's some inside info from tonight's show that you can't get anywhere else. Please enjoy.
I'm Gus. You may know my parents as Megan and Lucille. Now, unlike Megan, me and Lucille are quite deceased, but hey, sometimes that can be fun. I had a very good makeup artist that knew what he was doing. First they would apply a layer of lotion and then they'd start applying the makeup. It was a very fun process, actually, watching all of it come together. My reaction when I saw myself in full Walker makeup was amazement. I was actually wearing pajamas when I was the Walker. So my story was, it was pajama day in the school, and something happened. Being directed by Greg Nicotero was very fun. He's a great person to work with on your first day of being on TV. When I had to be serious, I personally just pretended that the people I tried to nip at were tacos, because my determination for tacos is very strong. The overall experience was great. Made a lot of friends. Yes, I would love to do it again.
Oh my gosh. Welcome back to Taco Dead. Tacos. What a great, that he just encapsulated like being a Walker. Of course, that's what it would be like. That was Gus Morgan, who was awesome on the show as a Walker, and talking about his experience tonight's episode. Give him a big hand. Oh, so cool. It's so cool. It's got the coolest parents.
Yeah.
We're back with Clarke and Cassady and Ross Marquand. Now let's talk about Connie. This is from Guis89 on Twitter. They finally know. Greens Clarke on Twitter says, they know Connie's alive. I'm so excited. Oh my God, my girl's coming back. Coco's Rosita on Twitter says, the chills I got when that whisperer spoke about seeing Connie. Clarke, reactions, the whisperer reveal of Connie.
Yes, excited, happy for it. Miss Connie very much. Really want to know what's up with her. I truly, that's it. I just was thrilled that they now know, and I want more Connie.
Yeah.
Connie in my world.
Well, hopefully, I think it's possible that could happen very soon. I've not watched ahead. Cassady, what did Lydia mean when she told the Whisperer, "Don't ever look back"?
Oh, I think she was like, okay, the Whisperers have no place here.
Right.
Everyone around here in this community has gone through enough Whisperer nonsense. So I think she meant, like, if you still want to live this Whisperer lifestyle, you're going to have to go far away and not come back, because you're lucky that you ran into Aaron, who deep down is a nice guy, and he let you off with no hand. Because I think a lot of other people have vendettas, and they would have done far worse, because Aaron's one of the nicest people you can have on your side in the show.
Well, and obviously Aaron is just going through this emotional torture, as we see in this nightmare scene, where he's just being attacked on all sides. So can you talk about shooting Aaron's nightmare scene?
I'm trying to look at you. That's what's
So it looks very normal? Well, you'll come full screen. Oh, no, that's really interesting. Yeah, that's great. Good to see you. Have something in your beard. You just got a little, yeah, okay, great. All right, I got it there. Yep.
What was the question? Sorry.
The question is, we're discussing Aaron's nightmare scene.
I feel like you're my therapist. This is great. Yeah, I mean, he's obviously very broken by this. I'll stop.
No, listen, listen. A commitment to a bit. I'm all for it, but I guess if you have to look forward, I guess that's fine too.
No, I'll do it. Okay. No, I mean, he's everyone is so horribly traumatized by what the Whisperers did. I mean, they completely decimated Alexandria, the Battle of Hilltop, completely destroyed Hilltop, and I think he is ultimately just obsessed with protecting not only Gracie but the entire community. And he's in a really bad place. All of them are. They're in dire straits. And his chief goal is to make sure that he is providing the safest community possible for everyone. And that's why he's having these recurring nightmares about all of the threats that have come upon Alexandria over the years.
And what do you think the zombies represent? Zombies. They represent zombies.
Wow,
yeah, very good. Coming up, we have a behind-the-scenes look at the Commonwealth set and an exclusive sneak peek. We'll be right back on Talking Dead Live.
I think what's really cool about where we've placed the Commonwealth is to think back to everything else that's been in its place. It's the same place we had the sanctuary, it's the same place we had the prison. Now it's just the Commonwealth. And we have the train station, and we have, there's an ice cream truck, and there's this, and I mean, it's like the biggest set we've ever done.
There's still so much here, which is like so familiar, and it looks very much like the old world we had before it fell. A train station, working shops, a bakery. What's next? Who knows? Maybe all is not what it seems, but I think in this particular moment, we have to take it as a win.
Welcome back to Talking Dead. That was a behind-the-scenes look at the set. My God, I visited that prison set when it was the prison. I have all these pictures. I gotta post stuff more. Clarke, let's. The Commonwealth orientation video is so awesomely like 90s. What was your reaction to seeing it?
It was pretty excellent. I mean, so the two things, I'm sure that savvy viewers will pull things out of there that I will never pick up on, but the two things that really stood out to me were Lance Hornsby saying 50,000 strong, a community 50,000 strong, which I was like, is that real? Is that not? And also the little clip of the hospital. And because I love Ezekiel, and I am very concerned about Ezekiel's well-being, and so I'm hopeful, fingers crossed, maybe that turns out to be real. But aside from that, the production value, I mean, come on. If you've got stormtroopers, you don't have like Avid or something. Like, there's transitions for it. I know it's a zombie
shooting them on old
but
like high 8 cameras.
Yeah, it was. I just don't know who's watching that video and going, all right, well, sign me right up for this.
Well, let's talk about it. We did a poll and we asked, should Eugene's group trust Hornsby, or Lance Hornsby and the Range, as I call him, because I'm a Gen Xer. 89% said yes. 11% said no. So most people think that he's trustworthy. If Lydia went to the Commonwealth. Do you think she would like it? Do you think she'd fit in?
I do not think that she would fit in. I think she would sense the sus immediately. Yes, she would be very suspicious. I can't say it. Sorry.
I know. We were talking like, why shrink it down to sus? Like, well, you're saving 2 syllables.
No one understands
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it just shortens it up.
Shorter.
Yeah,
Shorter.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think she would fit in. I think she'd be very uncomfortable, and yeah, I think she's meant to be outside in the apocalypse. She grew up in the wilderness, foraging for her food. Even in Alexandria, she sleeps outside in the patio. So, yeah, I think she would hate it.
It's the most structure she would have ever that civilization. But sort of speaking about that, with Ross. Thank you for thank you for looking me in the eye. Eugene's there having an ice cream social, and Alexandria's starving. Like, what do you think Aaron would do if he knew that they were at this place where all of these comforts existed?
I think he'd smack that ice cream right out of his hands. I'd be pissed off, especially if it was chocolate chip cookie dough, because that's my favorite.
Especially that.
That's a good one.
Especially that.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a pretty big gap there. I mean the disparity between what the Commonwealth have versus what Alexandria has at this time is pretty vast, and he and the rest of the community are literally fighting for their lives. So I think he'd be pretty jealous of that ice cream. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about what it's like playing TV dad to Annabelle, who plays Gracie?
She's wonderful. It's funny, we were talking about the flossing earlier, because when I first saw her on set this year, because I'd been working on the floss during the pandemic, because what else are you going to do? And I saw her and I was like, hey, Annabelle, floss. And I tried to do it, and she's like, Ross, that's so 2019. And I was like, oh. And then she taught me a new one where you do this thing. I don't know what it's called, but you skip and do this.
By the way, I think it's funny that you spent like most of the quarantine just learning to do this one thing, and it's got shot down immediately.
Yeah.
I worked so hard on this.
I really did.
This was my whole quarantine.
No. But she's wonderful. I mean, she's able to be, she's so light and fun and goofy at times, but she can really just, as we saw in the scene with Judith and the bully, she can just go to those dark places really quick. And certainly with the nightmare sequence, I mean, we were, it's kind of a weird thing where we're joking around and having a good time, but then, she immediately disappears, and then I get stabbed to death. And every time she brought her A game each take, and she's wonderful. She's wonderful to work with.
Well, before we go to break, I want to show you all this. Speaking of ice cream, it's a hoodie featuring the Taste of Tradition logo from the Commonwealth's ice cream truck. So if you go to twdushop.com, you can get one for yourself. And I don't know, I guess everyone who showed up will get one of these too. Yes. Actually, I really do want. Yeah, I really do want to get one of these. Coming up, we have an exclusive sneak peek of next week's episode. But first, here's Josh McDermott on how Eugene is feeling being away from his home and family. Check it out.
The bliss that he experienced while tasting the ice cream was short-lived, because he's thinking about his people back home who were engaged in a fight, and he feels a little guilty for it. Like, here I am eating ice cream, and meanwhile Rosita is killing other human beings. Who knows if Aaron's alive right now. He feels guilty that there's so much going on back home, and he's like on vacation. That's where he's just like, okay, Stephanie's great. I think I need to get home. And that's why he's like, we can't stay. We have to go. I can't help but think that if the ice cream was better, he might stay, but, she didn't give him the flavor he wanted.
I'm a Mensa Stock, and I am the 2020 Olympic champion for women's freestyle wrestling at 68 kilograms, and I love The Walking Dead. Also, by the way, this is Otis, and this is Lula, my 2 little fur babies. I'm gonna put them down, show you my medal that I won. When I was at the Olympics, I would stay up when I was cutting weight the night before competition and watch a few episodes of The Walking Dead. The Olympics is something that's extremely stressful, and The Walking Dead, honestly, even though it's stressful, with the plot twist and everything, it was definitely less stressful to watch The Walking Dead, because when I watched The Walking Dead and everybody's killing the walkers and fighting the other people that they have to go against, it made my life seem 1,000 times less stressful. So thank you so much to all the actors and actresses and to the producers and everybody in making this show. It has really been a huge part of my life, and I greatly appreciate the time and dedication that you guys have been doing for these past few years. So thank you very much.
Welcome back to Talking Dead. That was this week's featured fan. By the way, Olympic gold medalist, Tamara. So thank you so much for submitting your... Actually, she's going to ask a question in just a minute, but thank you for sharing what The Walking Dead has meant to you. It's like, what an honor. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you want the chance to be featured, send us a 30-second video of yourself explaining how The Walking Dead has impacted you at fansubmission at talkingdead.tv. And now Tamara is going to ask a question via video. Let's roll it.
So my question is for everyone. Out of all the threats that you all have encountered, who do you think gets the gold medal for the most threatening?
Okay, most threatening. What do you think?
First of all, Tamara, I have a fur baby named Otis, and I love you.
Oh my gosh,
and
that's amazing.
Congratulations. And obviously, I'm going to say Alpha. No bias at all.
Right.
Yeah, I think Alpha's the scariest because she's the most realistic. I mean, they wear walker skins on their faces to blend in, and she's unpredictable. So, yes.
What do you think, Clarke?
Actually, I do agree that I think it's the Whisperers. I think it's because it's ideology. Ideology is very scary.
Yeah.
And then when you add those numbers and also, just no value for human life whatsoever, not a great combo. So I'm going to go the Whisperers.
Excellent, excellent question, Tamara. Thank you so much. It's now time to see what everyone thought at home when we asked you at twdu.com/deadlive. Was Princess's interaction with Mercer a diversion or a flirtation? Diversion. She just didn't want her to catch Eugene using the radio. Or flirtation. She had to thank him for the $2 and his beautiful eyelashes while the polls are calculating. Clarke, what do you think?
Could it be secret option number 3, both?
Could be both.
So, because I know that if it were me, Mercer is a good-looking gentleman. He's got a cool job. So she's doing her job, helping her friends, but also, he cute. So I think it's both.
So it's a flirtersion?
It's a flirtersion.
Good. I like it.
Secret option number 3, flirtersion.
See, younger people shorten words, older people lengthen words.
Exactly. They
It's a flirtersion. It's a sus flirtersion. 58% say diversion. What did you think?
I would love them. I shipped that. Yeah.
All right.
I think they're both cuties. And yeah, I love them. Anyway.
Ross, as a fan, what is your reaction to seeing Negan and Maggie kind of working together?
Well, it's very interesting because I'm just waiting for Maggie to just boil over and kill him, because it's been a long time coming, and I don't know how she's managed to hold it together as long as she has, because every time I would see Negan, I would think of Glenn, and I'm amazed that she hasn't already thrown a knife into the back of his head for real. So yeah.
My favorite thing about your commitment to this bit is that on the show you're full screen, so it just looks like you don't know where the camera is. Just
really?
Occasionally we'll be in a 2-shot, but most of the time it's just you who has this guy never been in front of a... Does he think it's like a TV? Do you think it's a Walking Dead where they can't acknowledge the camera? Who's he looking at?
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
No, but
I didn't know that. Now I feel weird.
I respect. Again, I respect commitment to the bit. I love it. I love you. Okay, this is from Benzakena Ariana on Twitter. Clarke, Team Maggie or Team Negan? Pretty basic question, but most asked.
Listen, I really admire Maggie's leadership skills. However, I am Team Negan right now.
Amazing.
I really am. I know that we as fans have had the luxury of, seeing his evolution, seeing what he has, done for the group, etc. She hasn't. That said, I think she is letting her previous experience, which, yes, was negative, in that he killed her husband in front of her, but I think she's letting that cloud her leadership and her judgment. So I think Negan makes some sound points.
I'm disturbed by what I'm about to read, some of the reactions about, hey, Maggie and Negan oh my God, come on, really? Negan Addict on Twitter, my dad keeps saying Maggie and Negan are gonna hook up, and then it was just a bunch of random characters that they typed because they couldn't process it.
I think he's right.
Saviors Negan says, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. But it's also kind of hot, I'm struggling. And then Egg Rolls Bad on Twitter says Maggie and Negan are like toxic exes, I swear. And then Slingshot Sister says, 2 people suggesting Maggie could end up with Negan. What is wrong with you?
That's just nasty.
I don't know. Do you have a thought of it's like it's
nasty.
it's too weird. Yeah, it's too weird. I do not ship that.
Yeah.
I'm not on that. I'm not on board for that. Before we go to break, I want to there's just too much. It's just too much. Even in Apocalypse, it's too much. Before we go to break, I want to remind you to go to amcplus.com where you can sign up for a free 7-day trial offer to watch episodes of The Walking Dead a full week early. Coming up, we have that exclusive sneak peek, but right now, here is Michael James Shaw on his thoughts about the interaction between Princess and Mercer in tonight's episode. Check it out.
So when Princess basically throws some game down for Mercer, I think he's taken aback by it, you know? It's probably been a while since he's had any sort of interaction of the romantic type. And she's kind of the polar opposite of him. So I think he's drawn to her wild kind of exterior. And he's more reserved. He's fascinated by her.
Welcome back to Talking Dead. Earlier, we asked everyone at home, do you ship Princess and Mercer? 68% said yes, 32% said no. But now it is time for our exclusive sneak peek of next week's episode, and here it is. Oh, what a good clip. So we do see Connie. So you didn't have to wait that long. All right, we only have a couple minutes left, but really quickly from Walker the Dead on Twitter, Ross, will we see more of Dark Aaron this season, or has Carol helped rein that in?
Nah, he's gonna go real dark.
Okay, all right.
Scarin is
coming back. Darth Aaron is coming back.
Darren.
Let's just like lengthen words. Clarke, what can fans look forward to seeing on the Walking Dead Universe Twitch channel?
So we're still going to do our watch-alongs for the rest of, 11A, Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond. We're so excited. And also, on Wednesday, October 6th, I will have Angela Kang live.
Oh, fantastic.
So the great thing about Twitch is that it's interactive. So you can send us your questions, your reactions live, and I can ask them of Angela. So follow us at twitch.tv/TWDuniverse.
Well, you've been a phenomenal guest, and y'all do such a great job over on the Twitch channel. Thank you so much for coming and being a part of our show. Real quick question for Cassady from Robin Batman 1. What can fans expect from Lydia for the rest of season 11?
Oof. She's going to be better and happy. And no, I don't know. Just watch it.
Yeah, that's the best answer. Just watch it. I can't tell you. And then speaking of Lydia's, my wife Lydia, today's her birthday. So happy birthday, Liz.
Happy birthday.
I love you. And I guess that's all the time we have for Talking Dead. I mean, it's so wonderful to be back live every week. I cherish this. We're 5 weeks in. I still am delighted that we're here. Thank you, live audience, for being here. Thank you to everyone for watching at home. My guests have been Clarke Wolfe, Cassady McClincy, Ross Marquand. Be sure to catch Clarke. Follow TWD Universe on Twitch, where the conversation continues 4 days a week. To check that out. Also, don't forget to go to amcplus.com to watch next week's episode of The Walking Dead right now. Next week, we'll be joined by Connie herself, Lauren Ridloff, and Walking Dead superfan and friend of the show, Yvette Nicole Brown, will be here as well. So please stay safe, take care of each other out there. I'm Chris Hardwick. Have a good night. Bye-bye. See you next week.